Hello, we're going to take a quick look at the design process, all 5 steps, and try to give a brief explanation of them. So the first step is orientation, and this is really the information gathering phase. You need to do a lot of listening to the client and basically collecting as much information as you can about, who your audience is, what the product is, who the competitors are, what the market looks like, so that you have some idea of what visual identifiers are already out there and where this product is going to fit into that. The second phase is the analysis. So now that you've gathered all that information, you have to go through and analyze that information. And this is usually involved in creating the design brief. So creating a document that looks at all that information and tries to synthesize it in a meaningful way. And usually that's organized with the client so that the client would have some feedback about exactly what the goals of the project were. The next step is conceptual design, and this is frequently a challenge for students. The conceptual design phase doesn't involve any actual designing. It's simply trying to figure out the ideas from the design brief and from the information you gathered that are going to underpin the work that you're going to do. So it's really coming up with the ideas that you want to focus on as you create the designs. Frequently this involves statements about the product, or it can involve some initial artwork, but usually it doesn't even involve real design elements yet. It's much more about the ideas you're trying to communicate. Development, the fourth phase, is actually usually where students start. This is actually where you start to create some thumbnail sketches, start to create some artwork. And usually you start with a lot of different ideas, right? So you'll have a number of different conceptual design ideas from the last phase, and you want to sort of tease all of them out. So it's trying out each of those ideas and seeing where they go, seeing where there are overlaps and seeing where you can consolidate the effort. But this is where you actually start making artwork or start making design work. And this is very client involved, so a lot of times you'll show what you end up with to the client will review, you'll go back and you'll make some adjustments, etc. And that'll get you to the last phase, which is implementation. The implementation phase is a little tricky for students because frequently we don't implement work. Or in this class we don't implement work. The implementation phase is where you actually create the objects that you've been talking about, and you tend to turn in work electronically, which is your implementation for the class. But in a broader scope, implementation would mean actually creating the bottles or creating the packaging or creating whatever you were designing, and that happens less frequently on the student level.